All right. Well, we are back for part three of our season preview. And in this part, I want to both do a roster assessment, talk about the weaknesses and the strengths of the Bengals roster, and how we might see them perhaps differently from the way outsiders see them. And then I want to give our predictions for the year, how the regular season going to play out and the postseason, if you guys agree that they would be in the postseason. I don't know. So, as all our fans know, the Bengals have been really kind of not getting a lot of love from the mainstream media, except for Pete Prisco. You know, he's always kind of been a big fan of the team, as John knows, I'm sure. But most people have us not making the playoffs, having a losing record.
That hurts.
Yeah, yes, it does. And
I mean, the negative. If you come out of the gate negative, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that about?
Right.
What is that about?
Right. And okay. So look, a Sports Illustrated. Now, why am I talking about a Sports Illustrated? Now, I know there are so many different ways you can get your news these days, but as someone who
do people still read sports?
I do read. I do when I go to the bathroom. So that means I read it a lot.
When you can watch this show for your information, why would you mess around with Sports Illustrated?
Well, because some people
they don't have John. They don't have Hodgie.
Not yet. You don't know what I'm working on behind the scenes.
Oh, that's true. Touche.
Yeah, but I mean, look. So when you are on the John, for instance, sometimes you don't want to take your devices with you.
That hurts. I don't make fun of your name.
Yeah, and it's an easy one to make fun of. Dadio.
Look.
Let's be
okay. I was not making fun. I'm saying I'm trying to make.
There are plenty of words for the toilet.
Yeah.
Okay. John is just one of them. It's not the best one.
But I'm trying to explain the position that you are in when you're reading a Sports Illustrated. You don't say you're on the toilet as often. You say on the John more often. I don't know. I don't know anything about this language. I don't know why you take.
He's got you there, John. He's got you there. Very few people read the Sports Illustrated on the toilet. Many more, John.
Right. So when you're on the, I don't know what to call it. You tell me.
On the Dadio.
I call it something, but this show is rated E for everyone, so I'm not gonna say that.
Right. So what I'm saying is, you don't want to take your devices with you. You want something you can look at, flip through. Something you can hold in your hand without having to worry you're going to take it out into your room afterwards. And so, Sports Illustrated is good for that. Now we're getting way off topic, but look, Sports Illustrated. Why do I still read it? One thing is I get it for free, obviously. The other one is that before the internet, as a Bengals fan living far away from the team, that was the only place, that and the sporting news were like the only places I could ever read about my team. There is this Bengals newspaper I had to pay like $15, $20 a month for. And by the time it arrived, the news was like 2 weeks old. So, so that is where I got my information from. And I remember like every once in a while you see Dr. Z's predictions and he predicts that the Bengals are going to win that week. And I'd be so excited, But anyways, it's a little different now. We have different forums. And now the Sports Illustrated, they used to rank all the players and do that stuff. Now they just have one guy, Andy Benoit, basically doing everything. And they predicted us to go 4-12, right?
That guy.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
The guy Benoit, he has no idea what he's talking about. I don't think he watches football. He certainly doesn't deserve to be a Sports Illustrated expert. I mean, he said things about women's sports. He said things about college football. The guy's just trying to get a reaction.
I mean, he's trying to get a reaction. But anyways, let's just take his assessment and evaluate it. So he says we're going 4-12, but he was not the only one. Look, USA Today has us going 7-9. ESPN has us going maybe 7-9 as well, right? And so going back to the Sports Illustrated, why does he give us that kind of ranking? Well, there's on the offense, we have two things that he had us ranked really low at, and that is the quarterback and offensive line. So in terms of quarterback,
they have to talk to Logie about that one.
Yeah,
we have an elite quarterback.
Yeah. So look, he had us ranked 27 for quarterbacks. Now you might be thinking, oh, maybe because our backup situation is so bad. That is not what it is. the best quarterbacks will have the best quarterback ranking, even if their backup is a nobody. So he's trying to say that we have the 27th best quarterback, and that ranks us behind Jacksonville. Blake Bortles, okay, he won a playoff game, fine, but it ranks us behind Denver at 18. Now, Case Keenum had one nice season, but he didn't look so hot, deep into the playoffs either, right? Has us behind Arizona, and look, Sam Bradford, maybe he play a full season finally. I don't know. Yeah,
man, that guy, he's like a little French poodle. The guy's so touchy, so fragile. I mean,
and they had us behind Baltimore. We don't know Joe Flacco's back is healthy. We know Lamar Jackson probably.
That's where I draw the line.
I know.
Joe Flacco.
Well, hold on, John.
Where do you have the fat guy, Mr. Cow, Steelers guy?
I don't remember, but look, and then they had us behind the Jets at 25. Now, okay,
what?
Let me get this. Let me get this out there. Sam,
he's a hater. He's a
Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold have very, very high ceilings. I like them. I really like both of those players. I really like Rosen from what I've seen from him. I just like his kind of awareness and his, he didn't put up the numbers in preseason, but he looked good. But the rookies, Rosen, we don't even know if he's going to play. Darnold, this is not how you rank players based on, okay, yeah, eventually he's going to be this really good player or whatever. So that, in my opinion, if we're evaluating in terms of win-loss, Andy Dalton can win in the regular season, right? That we know. The problems with Dalton are deeper into the in the season, in the playoffs, maybe primetime games, which we don't have too many of them.
And Dadio, this is very short-sighted. I mean, you have to have depth at the QB, because QBs in this day and age are getting hurt a lot, and a lot of those teams, the O-line isn't really doing a great job. So they have Dalton behind Case Keenum. Case Keenum goes down, and you trying to tell me that Chad Kelly is going to step up for the Broncos more than Jeff Driscoll, who was on our show? Chad Kelly was picked dead last in the draft, 2017 draft. Is the worst. I mean, the lowest pick. This is just ridiculous. This is just hating, is what it is. And I love peace and love, Daddy. I'm about peace and love.
Yeah, but John, what do you think about the where they ranked us in the quarterback?
The quarterback. I think Dalton is in that 16 to 20 range, and he can sometimes play near like 12 and 10, and then we see him play near the bottom. So I think he always is ranging in the middle. But I think that, in general, he plays better than the 27th best quarterback. I think maybe when you look at more like traits and, compare each individual attribute to every quarterback, then maybe Dalton goes down a little bit more. But the dude is an 8-year veteran, and, even though he's not the most consistent, he has shown to put up decent production. So 27th is, I'm not a Dalton lover like Logie is, but 27th is a little slow.
Yeah. And Hodgie, you would rank him a little bit higher too, I'm taking it.
Of course. I mean, look, here's the thing. We don't know. We haven't really seen Bill Lazor's. We haven't really seen we haven't really seen what can happen.
That's true. No, I'm very hopeful for what Lazor can do with him.
Because Lazor was the QB coach, but I'm saying, you never know, right?
Yeah, I wonder where they would have ranked Dalton after, in 2016 when he was coming off that 2015 MVP type season. Probably in top 10. So I think he's going to be much closer to where he was at 2015. I really do. I'm not just saying that as a Bengals homer, but. The next area of weakness is an obvious one, the offensive line. We all know it. But with offensive lines, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, I feel like people hear things, they know things, and they don't really get into the details of it because it's not a very exciting position. So they just know, this team has a bad offensive line. Okay, well, what if they change things? What if they did this? What if they did that? Well, how are they a bad offensive line? What can they do? What can't they do?
Essentially, it's like a bunch of guys in line for the bathroom. I mean, they're standing. It's really hard to get excited about it, but it's necessary. You got to get the job done.
Yeah, and speaking actually about bathroom, our good friend Ox had a comment about the Sports Illustrated. He said, he says, I take it to the restroom because I need something to wipe with. That's
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
That was We had someone who said, don't use the word John. You can say you're on the throne. Okay, fine, but
much better. Much
yeah,
better.
but he left, by the way.
Reuse, recycle. I
He
love
said-
it. I love it. That's the environmentalism of our Bengals fans. I
He left
love
the podcast. While we're in the comment section, I just want to say a shout out to Rick Holly and AA, who they came before the podcast started, but they had to leave because they go to bed early and they have to work in the morning. And lots of
it.
respect to you. And,
Sacrifices must be made. This is the year of sacrifice. You want the Bengals to win, you got to stay up and watch our show.
Yeah, I mean, and just the hard work, is something to honor. Like, we know Jeffrey Owens, the Cosby actor. We had that whole thing. So we don't want to. We want to be very respectful towards people who get up early and work hard. Now, moving on. Yeah, offensive line, 30th. They're ranked 30th in Sports Illustrated. Okay, fine. I say this though. I say, is the offensive line really a weakness or is it a mystery? Because we have Clint Bowling returning, right? That's about it. So, Cody Glenn is new. Everybody knows he's at least average, right? Billy Price, everybody knows he's pretty solid. It might not be great, he's pretty solid. We have moving parts elsewhere on the line. I think we're gonna have Alex Redmond this week. We don't know if that's for sure the right guard. My point is this: I don't think we know what the offensive line is. I don't think you can say that.
Isn't it funny though that we just got the offensive line coach that's coming from a team that has one of the best offensive lines? I mean, isn't that giving people a little bit of hope?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, but he's not a magician, and he didn't specifically draft those guys. He were just handed them. They were one of the more ready to go offensive linemen in at such a young age, and he just basically put the pieces together. I think people overrated Frank Pollock's ability to turn around a bad group in just a couple months, and that's kind of why there's not as much optimism as maybe we thought there was going to be, I guess.
Maybe, but I mean, look, it's being like the one of the worst in the NFL. I think Sports Illustrated is definitely showing some bias here. I mean, I'm not a Pro Football Focus fan, but they got us at 26 with the whole line. I mean, there's a little bit more.
Yeah, but I think what Dadio said is that is it a weakness or is it a mystery? And I think it's both. I think it's a weakness because it's a mystery. I think they are bad until they prove they aren't.
Of course they are, but what I'm saying is, okay, so what about the Jets? That's their quarterback situation a mystery. Like, you don't treat mystery, you don't just cast them at the bottom.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah. Okay, so offensive line, I think they're being a little bit I think it's just laziness to some degree. But you want to see,
Abgawehi has really ruined our reputation in the NFL. I mean,
it's Agbooty.
Well, look, we got rid of
Bodine. There's, you say tomato, but
we dropped Bodine. That should take us up like 5 spots right there, to be honest with you.
I mean, you got to be frustrated as a Bengals fan because everybody talks about how young this team is and how we're just trying to put against the old offensive line. Some of the best guys who are on our offensive line are doing great on other teams. They're not that old. They're still around.
Yeah, no, I mean, we had a very good offensive line.
Imagine if we still had Whitworth. Imagine if we still had Zeitlin.
We don't. Yeah, we figured it out. I think we figured that.
They could have kept them. It's the money issue. It goes back to the top.
Yeah, it is. But look, I want to emphasize, sometimes you have a runner who runs so hard that he helps that offensive line develop chemistry, kind of cohesion, all of that. And Mixon is that kind of back. I'm sorry, but he's the back who gives me the most hope since Cody Dillon.
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
he's like the Forrest Gump of football. He really, I'm with you.
So look, now, if you thought they were being a little bit unfair in terms of the offensive side, well, wait till you hear about the defense. They have us ranked the 29th front. Now, remember, front seven, okay, it's D-line and linebackers. That's fine. But our D-line, everybody that knows football would say top 5, easily top 5. Easily top 5. Now, okay, but linebackers, let's talk about that. Vontaze Burfict, yes, he's suspended 4 games. But
that's only going to make him stronger.
That's true. I'm just worried about the new rules. They might impose them on him even more because of they're trying to make a point.
There's a lot of prejudice in the NFL against Burfict. Let's face it. People scrutinize him. People look at him. People have a lot of, and yet still, whenever he comes back after those 4 games, whenever he's there,
an impact player.
The whole thing turns around.
He is an impact player. He is
the team leader.
I think he was
our defense.
we have AJ Green, Geno Atkins, and Valdez. That's from my point of view. The guys that can just come in and change a game, But okay,
and I'll say this, Dadio, the best defenses in the NFL are imitation Marvin Lewis defenses.
Yeah. I mean, Marvin Lewis really. I mean, the 2000 Ravens are the best modern defense. I mean, maybe the Seahawks, you can say the 2014, but was it 13? I don't know, 2013 Seahawks. Maybe that. But other than that, yeah, that's Ravens.
I wish Marvin Lewis imitated the top defenses in the league, because Marvin Lewis doesn't deploy a single high safety, which is the trend that nowadays on defense. But yeah, this is 29th. Is that? Yeah. Are you sure it's? Jesus Christ, 29th?
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. So look, we look, Perfect is gone. Perfect is gone 4 games, right? But we added Preston Brown. Now, John, I know in terms of analytics, maybe he's not a sweetie pie from the analytics point of view. Maybe he's not tackling at a 45-degree angle or while he's facing north or whatever. I don't know if he's doing the analytics part. But in my book, when you lead the league in tackles, 144 tackles, that means something. That means you can play. You're doing something on the field. Do you agree?
Yeah, to a degree. I think what Bills fans said specifically is that his tackles were not always like near the line of scrimmage. Like Pro Football Focus does a good job of classifying certain tackles as like stops, where they stop the offense from going a certain yardage to get a first down on each down of a drive and whatnot. So maybe not all those tackles were stops, but I think what's important is that Kevin Minter, who was here last year, wasn't available, and he wasn't really good when he was on the field. If he's an upgrade there, that's good. They're expecting Nick Vigil and Jordan Evans to take steps. They're athletic. In general, linebackers are trained pigs. They're like the running backs of the defense, and they aren't that important in the grand scheme of things, as long as you have a defensive line that can get home in 4 and cornerbacks that can cover for 5 seconds. And I think the Bengals have both of that. And since we're talking about the defensive line, they have at least 5 or 6 guys who can get after the quarterback. And not only that, but they have legitimate star power on the defense line too.
Yeah,
so the fact they're 29th is.
Well, I want to get to the D line, but I think the weakness is from the linebacker position.
No, for sure, yeah, because Vigil and Evans are still largely unknown. Because
Vigil has showed improvement last year, for sure, and Jordan Evans, he does have that potential. He looked good. Anyways, look, if you are going to say that the linebackers are a weakness, I understand. And like Preston Brown, I know he's not great. I understand that, but he's solid. It's not like we're terrible. So the point is this: if you have a top 5 defensive line, I say top 2. Easily, But anyways, and you have a, let's say, average linebacking core. Does that warrant it? No, it does not. And so that D line. Now I'm going to the D line. Let's just talk about them. How we know they're great, but let's talk about that.
Can I just butt in here, guys? Because I feel like the conversation is going totally the wrong way. Listen, you guys keep looking at the parts: D line, safety, corner. I mean, the fact of the matter is, the Bengals defense, it's never really been bad, even when it was bad. The years when it was bad, like last year wasn't a great year for us, is when the defense was out there way too long because the offense was bad. Marvin Lewis is never going to deliver us a really bad defense. He's just not going to let it happen. The defense is his baby.
Well,
he can coach. Yeah. He's not the best head coach. I give you that.
Yeah.
But he's if you go to his sandwich shop and you say, "Give me a Marvin Lewis," that means give me a defense, because that's what he knows how to do. Yeah. And he's always going to give you a nice, tasty defense that you can take home, share with your grandma, and have a nice day.
Yeah.
The offense might have a problem. The team might have a problem. The morale might have a defense. Always going to be good with Marvin.
Good. Okay, good. That's a good point you made. I really like that. I want to actually get to that. So last year, our defense was 18th overall, right? That's not that bad. And
not that bad, considering that the guys had to be out there so
right. Exactly.
That's so true.
That's exactly right. So you look, we were on the pass defense. We were number 8 pass defense, and that's with William Jackson in his first year, and Darquez just kind of getting comfortable, getting good, all that, right? They're going to be better, the pass defense. It was the rush defense that was 30th in yards allowed last year. That was our problem. And of course, like you said, Hodgie, excellent point. They were on the field all the time. Okay? So the offense, everybody knows the offense is going to be better. Like they were historically, we talked about that last time. Of course they're going to be better. There's no doubt that they're going to be better. But we were questioning if they're going to be an elite offense, and I said I think so. I think I can see it. You know, they're kind of on the verge of that. But at any rate, they're going to be a lot better. They're not going to keep the defense out there all the time. And we talked about the defensive line. We know about Geno Atkins. We know about Carlos Dunlap, and we know about Carl Lawson, who, by the way, entering his second year, he's going to be even better. We all know that. But now we have some depth and talent in guys like Sam Hubbard and Jordan Willis. And, well, we had Jordan Willis last year, but he's improved. He's improved his technique. But Andrew Billings is finally ready to make his presence known. You know what I'm saying? So imagine a dominant, defensive nose tackle who can disrupt the way he can. And finally contributing. Our defensive line goes from being what it was last year. It's going to be a lot better than it was last year. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you on that, man.
Yeah.
Bring me the Billings, because I'm ready to leave the restaurant. That man is just wow. And I mean, Dunlap could be very explosive this year. This could be his year.
Yeah, Dunlap, that's true. With the kind of talent around him, with Billings occupying blockers and all that, maybe Dunlap does have that career sack year. Maybe he does have 20 sacks or something like that. Who knows?
I could see him being the star of the show this year. And by the show, I mean the whole of sports. I'm not talking about the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm talking about sporting in general.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the statue in the United Nations that looks like Carlos Dunlap. People visit it. People take pictures of it. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, he could be
if he comes on the show.
Exactly, he could be a star on our show. He could start there, and
if he comes, if he doesn't come on the show, I don't see such things for him.
Yeah,
but if he comes on the show, I see big. I see huge.
Yeah, P. Crowley 513 mentioned Jesse Bates, and I agree. That's another person who has me very excited. I think he can help us create more turnovers. Again, that would help the defense. So the defense is going to be a lot better than it was last year. And last year, it was a little bit below average, 18. And we said that was because they're on the field all the time. Okay. So I want to move on to our season predictions. Okay. So, John, why don't you just give me kind of like an overview of what you're seeing in the schedule, key games you think we should win, lose, whatever. Just kind of give me it and give me your overall result prediction.
I'm so glad you're starting with me because I'm looking at the schedule. It's pretty fairly easy. They play the AFC West, which is pretty wide open there. NFC South has good quarterbacks, but also some question marks with a couple teams. Pretty the third place schedule. They play what is it? The Colts in week 1. They play the Dolphins of the AFC East. There's a lot of winnable games on here. The team is improved. The offense is only going to go up. The defense is only going to get better because they're not going to be on the field. They have new coordinators. They have a new offensive line coach. All these things are looking better. And I still have them going 8-8 because until they can prove that they aren't the Bengals the old, they haven't earned my optimism as of yet. I still don't see them finishing better than 3-3 in the division because the division always plays them tough. They're still going to lose maybe 1 or 2 games that we know they shouldn't. They might counter that with 1 or 2 wins that maybe are surprising, but there's games like Atlanta, I don't see them winning. There's games like definitely one of the Pittsburgh games at the Chargers with that pass rushing unit. They always seem to find a way to lose to Denver, even though they have them at home. There's just a lot of question marks that kind of counter all the optimism in what looks to be a fairly easy schedule. And I completely understand the arguments for going 10-6 or 11-5, just as equally as I understand the arguments for going 7-9 and 6-10. And that's kind of why I'm in the middle at 8-8. And even in a weak AFC, 8-8 is not going to get you to the playoffs. But I think we're just 1 year away because too many things have to happen and have to go right in order for them to get contention for the playoffs.
Yeah. John, it's a very indifferent kind of.
John is not feeling the.
They have to earn it. They have to earn it first. They are underwhelming until they aren't.
Basically. So it's more of a how day than a who day for you.
Very much a how day.
It's a how day. John.
Wow. Well, Hodgie, yeah. What are you
so I want the kiddos to write this down because this is going to be like the scene from Back to the Future 2 where you get the book from the future that tells you how all the games go. And Biff makes his bets and gets his own hotel.
He becomes, yeah, basically becomes president, and that's okay. I mean, sometimes dreams come true. It's kind of.
So let me set the stage for you. Then I'll run through quickly what I think is going to happen. It's just going to take me a minute, but bear with me. Here's what we got going on offense, and it's the offense that's going to determine how we do this year, because it's the offense performance that's the Q factor. Q being question mark. So you got to think that there's two bets that they're making this year, and it's on offense to me, and it's Ross and it's Mixon. And how those guys do it means a lot, even more than how the O-line does, because it's really what the question. Dalton's quintessential receiver was Marvin Jones, because Marvin could find separation using his strength, use his muscles, he would fight for the ball. But the Ross can't do those things. It's going to be distraction for AJ Green if they're lucky. So I don't see good things for teams that we play that are strong with the secondary. They're going to stop this. I don't see it, because we just don't have much going on with as they say, the weapons in the receiver. On the other hand, I'm very hopeful with our running game. So teams we play that I think we can dominate with them, because this Mixon guy, he's like a little squirrel. Everything he has, he earns on his own. He takes the nut to the tree one by one. No one helps him. Or like a Bruce Willis figure with nobody helps him except the guy from Family Matters. Except he doesn't even have the Family Matters guy. He's just doing it on his own. So here's my prediction. Okay, we got loss, win, loss, 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 win, 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 loss, loss, win, win, win. That is, we lose against the Colts, win the Ravens, lose Panthers, lose Falcons, lose against the Dolphins, lose against the Steelers, unfortunately, win against the Chiefs, win against the Bucks, then win against the Saints, win against the Ravens, win against the Browns, lose against the Broncos, lose against the Chargers, win against the Raiders, and it might even be an interesting game there, win against the Browns, and win against the Steelers. And my formula is, as I said, all those things are going to be important, but another thing is there's certain teams out there that are more intimidated by us than others. So I see us going 9-7, becoming a wild card team, winning the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl, winning, and becoming world champs. Wow. And that's when they build the statue of Dunlap.
Carlos Dunlap.
Super Bowl after like 1-5. That's bold.
Yeah. Well, we don't have perfect for the first 4 games. Right?
It's true.
So I agree with you. We're gonna have a slow start without perfect. I think we're gonna. I could see us losing to the Falcons in Atlanta. Falcons. But I only see us losing a couple other games. I see us maybe. I could see us losing at Los Angeles. Against the Chargers. And I think we're gonna drop probably one of the Steelers games. Just kind of that whole mental thing we got to get over, probably the one on the road, so the final week of the season.
The Bengals are usually better against the Steelers on the road than they are.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, but anyways, so I see them going 13-3.
Wow.
Yeah, 13-3. Yeah, I don't want to be pessimistic, but without perfect, I don't see them.
I love the endless optimism of Dadio.
Yeah. But I see them and I see this being a redemption postseason. So beating the Texans in the divisional round, we'll have the first round bye. We'll beat the Texans. The Texans are going to be good with Deshaun Watson. He's going to be a MVP type candidate. I really like that guy. But our defense is going to make too many big plays, and they're going to help Andy Dalton finally, win a playoff game and against his hometown. And then I see us beating the Steelers in the AFC Championship game. That is, of course, if the locker room doesn't if the chemistry isn't completely ruined by then, because it seems like they're falling apart. There's something we learned.
But that isn't, I was gonna say, man. I mean, it's horrible. I feel bad for being this kind of person, but isn't it great to watch the Steelers just kind of unravel right now, even before the year begins? It's such a good feeling, and I feel horrible because there's the Schadenfreude, the Freudenschulden, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But, I don't feel, I shouldn't feel good about it, but I do.
Yeah. I mean, the Steelers really. There's not much to feel bad about. I mean, they don't really. They don't even try to project themselves as decent human beings. So I mean, the whole Juju Smith-Schuster thing. I mean, it seems like everybody was behind him. Nobody even thought, hey, maybe he's acting like a jerk.
It'll be nice if the Steelers have one bad year. I would love for someone to do a graph of the number of Steelers fans that exist before that year and after that year. My prediction is that 75% of Steelers fans will fall away after just one bad season. They're not like Bengals fans.
No,
Bengals fans have been here. We've been here waiting in the waiting room for the dentist to drill our teeth since 1988. But
Yeah.
the Steelers fans, I mean, a lot of them are just riding the tailwinds of glory, and once those wins kind of fizzle out, I don't see a lot of Steelers fans.
Yeah, or more like maybe more like waiting for the dentist to stop drilling our teeth. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like the past 30
Well,
years.
they're the ones who've been drilling our teeth, is the Steelers, actually.
Yeah.
So.
But look. So, and then I see us beating the Steelers. Okay, maybe not the Steelers, but we beat the. We make it to the Super Bowl, and we could face Zimmer, our old coach, Minnesota Vikings. But if we get Kirk Cousins, force him to throw the ball too much, that defense is going to get a lot of turnovers.
Listen, in my predictions, I don't know if you know this. Almost anytime we face one of Marvin Lewis's proteges, we win because they're all intimidated by him. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, and they respect him too.
They respect him. Yeah. They do. They really do. I mean, I've noticed that up and down.
Yeah. It will be even more interesting is if we faced, I know they're a long shot, but the 49ers, and we finally got, to complete the redemption. You know what I mean? The Texans and the Steelers and the 49ers,
everything
redemption tour. Yeah.
First full circle of life.
Look, for the 24 people is still with us. We're talking about the loyalty of Bengals fans. We have 24 people who still have not gone to bed. Thank you. And we want to remind you that we're getting puppets. We are on the way. The puppets are coming, and it's going to improve the show a lot. And we're going to find other ways to try to improve these live streams, make them more lively. But we're going to have puppets sometime in October. And so you're not going to just have to look at our logos and whatnot. But that should be happening. Any final thoughts before we end this stream, guys?
I kind of want to not hedge my bet, but in case I get any flack with my prediction, I would say that if Cordy Glenn, Tyler Eifert, and John Ross each start at least 12 games this year, I would say that 10 wins is more likely than 6 or 7. I think that's ultimately what is going to swing their fortune this year. It's going to be the health of those 3.
Yeah, so playoff, Super Bowl, what do you after they get to the
I'll definitely lose in the first round of the playoffs. But
okay.
Yeah.
So I have a final comment as well, and that is that you might remember that 80s party that the Bengals had.
Oh yeah.
I think that was a message that they were sending to the 80s. You remember the phrase "Who Dey" comes from that 88-89 season. I think what the Bengals were doing with the 80s party, it was meant to look like a joke and like fun. That's not what it was. It was a message. They're really pushing the Who Dey. They're saying this is the year. And that's what it was about. I think that there's something going on in the Bengals camp. And then they're going to be full of surprises this year. I think it's going to be a great year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm looking at the comment section right now, and a lot of people are feeling the same way. They're feeling very positive. We have one guy who's not feeling positive about the Bengals, but more so about our show. Gino Seidalks. He's still here, but I like him. I'm glad he's still.
What's he saying? Read it, man. I don't.
But I know people want to go to bed. But yeah, he's saying. Hold on. Let's see, Gino. He says nobody cares about your optimism. That's probably true. He said, "Do they talk about anything here or just talk nonsense and agree?" We don't even agree all the time. I agree with the nonsense.
Definitely don't agree on the nonsense.
Yeah.
No. I talk nonsense, but Dadio agrees.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't know what you said, but that's true. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up the show, and we will see you after the Bengals play on Sunday. So long, Sweetie Pies.